At this time, I'd like to introduce our commencement speaker, Chef Dwayne Keller. Chef Keller is presently the Director of Food and Beverage at the Savannah Lakes Village and is a member of Helms College Hospitality Advisory Council. He has a very distinguished career of offering exceptional cuisine in the finest dining establishments, having been recognized internationally with roots in Canada and decades of work in the United States. He is a recipient of the 2001 James Beard Foundation Certificate in New York, where he was invited to be a visiting chef. He and his teams have won numerous awards over the years that reflect his ever-expanding inventiveness and inspirational accomplishments, just to name a few. The Gold Spoon Award at the 4-star Delta Bow Valley Inn in Calgary, the Red Seal Award at Emerald Park in Vancouver, the Wine Spectator Award, the CCA Chef of the Year Award, the Florida Top 100 Award. You should see his trophy cabinet. In addition to these honors, in 2002, Keller helped Julia Child celebrate her 90th birthday with dazzling gastronomic creations. He has been named frequently in Washingtonian Magazine as one of the top chefs, hailing their top 50 and best brunches, and he was featured in Gourmet Magazine when he was the head chef at the 17th Century Ashbury Inn in Paris, Virginia. A native of Saskatchewan, Keller's training under the world of the finest European chefs incorporates a style of cooking techniques of the old world plus that which is new. His My Farm to Table menu started in 1990 at the Ashby Inn, where he wrote a daily menu that featured local and seasonal provisions within a 50-mile radius of the inn. He has continued this important initiative into 2023 when he relocated to the South. Chef Dwayne notes the 4 seasons generate 4 different styles of dishes throughout the year. In addition to the respect that he's received from fellow colleagues and food critics, Keller celebrates his passion by sharing with others throughout the year in charitable work. He has created heart-healthy menus for the American Heart Association, fed the homeless and disadvantaged in Sarasota, and provided hurricane relief and cooked for the Pentagon during the rescue operations of 9/11. Finally, he is a professed man of faith and has expressed that his God-given gifts are meant to be shared with others. He has been doing that for decades and is here today to continue doing that. Please give Chef Keller a warm welcome.
Thanks for having me. Very humbling to be here and to be here in Georgia for one. I mean, does it rain this much all the time? I mean, British Columbia is beautiful. It rains 200 days out of the year. I think it's a lot like Georgia. The relationship that we're working on with Savannah Lakes Village is near and dear to my heart, and that's why I'm here. I grew up in a small town of Hershey. Hershey was built during the Depression with lots of help. Milton Hershey was an orphan, and he always said, it's not what you leave your children, it's how you leave them. So I grew up in this town, and it was all about hospitality, chocolate, the Hershey Park, and my father was a hockey player. He played in the original 6 for New York and Montreal. I'm originally from Saskatchewan. I was born in Saskatoon, just north of North Dakota, up there in Canada. Everybody sometimes forgets it's a different country, but we grew up in the town of Hershey, and I started at a very early age of 13 Little longer story, but so happy to be in hospitality, being of service to everyone and anybody. We always talk about our guests, whether they're internal guests, meaning our fellow workers, our colleagues and everybody that we work with, or our guests that we have in to enjoy what we create. And there isn't anything more rewarding than creating experiences for people, whether you're inside the kitchen or out front, or you're a part of the behind the scenes. Just giving back to people is what's driven me, and I always say I'm only halfway there. I'll tell you, I'm kind of old guy, but I feel like I'm only halfway there because there's so much more to do. We've had a little bit of a reset with COVID. I think in the 4 decades that I've been involved in culinary schools and cooking and teaching and taking care of others, I gotta say this is the most important time for all of us to give back and go out every day and give your best. Growing up with hockey, and I played a lot of hockey myself, I was always on teams, and we were only as good as our team. And I always say to my cooks and our staff is we're only as good as the last plate that we put out. So we all focus, work well together, and do all the little things to help each other out, just like a team. But the rain is something else down here. I mean, the grass is so green, it's beautiful, and I'm just a restaurant guy, and I gotta ask you, did anybody hear about that new restaurant they put on the moon? No? It's got great food, but no atmosphere. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Chef, for those encouraging words.